When this old bloke with an independent streak was told he had bowel cancer and would have to have his colon removed, he said, and I quote, "I'm buggered if I'm going to shit in a bag for the rest of my life." Because he had previously used black salve on skin cancers, he had faith in it and decided to roll a suppository-sized piece in flour and bake it in his oven until it hardened. Then, as he put it, "I shoved it up my arse and in 5 days I shit that bastard cancer out." When he returned to the doctor, he got the all clear, but the doctor wouldn't listen when he tried to tell him how he cured himself.
We are not recommending this carefree approach to anyone, but we do think that surgeons might be open-minded about trying a gentle method prior to drastic disfiguring surgery. And you don't have to be a baker to try this method. A black salve-filled horse suppository will suffice. What have you got to lose? It only takes a few days to find out if this method will drive out the cancer. Surely an operation could be postponed briefly, but surgeons don't look at it that way. They are inclined to terrify patients and rush them off to the operating theater.
It's great for family pets, all sorts of animals in fact, including humans. I remember using it on a dog. The dog was going to have its leg amputated. That was the only choice the vet said the animal had. We applied the cream. 24 hours later there was a huge reaction. To cut a long story short, the dog's leg was saved as well as his life.
Fortunately, black salve is perfectly legal for our animal friends. Hundreds of heartwarming emails were sent to Elaine describing amazing recoveries of cats, dogs and horses.
The malignant melanoma on the dog's paw was the size of a marble. It was round, black and shiny. I was really surprised that an application removed it entirely the way it did. It's quite amazing.
Yet it's still illegal for humans. Absurd, really. But then, when you consider the track records of our leaders, not surprising. As a renowned 20th century poet said,
"Everything government touches turns to crap." Ringo Starr. Records exist of cures with escherichitis starting in the 15th century. Eli G. Jones, American physician and homeopath, left records of 4,300 cases of breast cancer he cured using an escherichic. American Indians used similar formulas for many hundreds of years, and countless US entrepreneurs produced them using different formulas and many different names. They helped countless cancer victims until sales were stopped by governments. Overnight, they were unavailable to people who desperately needed them.
well, this is nothing new. What is new is that finally people can do something about it. Naturopath Adrian Jones did. He defied the government and used black salve when a patient came to him with melanoma on his forehead. It was right between his eyes, and it had spread to his brain.
The doctors had tried to take the melanoma off his face, but they were unable to treat the underlying secondary tumour. And of course, he was told that this would be a fatal event. So he came to me, and he was absolutely desperate. We applied the cream to his forehead. There was a minor reaction, not the sort of reaction that I might have expected, but he had had surgery on the melanoma before, and we thought that maybe there was scarring in the tissue that may have prevented the full response that we were looking for. So we gave a second application about a week later, and this time there was a major reaction. And ensuing x-rays weeks later showed us that this cream had not only destroyed the primary tumour, the melanoma itself, but it also found its way through the roots and found its way back into the brain where there was the secondary tumour, and that was successfully treated as well. And now the guy is very happy and healthy.
In Australia and in most other countries, law-abiding citizens are forced to go underground to get the natural materials they need to maintain their health. This is not unique to black salve. This happens with dozens, hundreds of herbs that have been in use for centuries.
So, how can you protect yourself? By being creative. You can either make black salve yourself or buy it from someone who makes it for animals. If you opt to make it yourself, this is how it's done.
The first step when preparing your black salve is to put 50 grams each of bloodroot, chaparral, graviola, and galangal in a bowl. Next, pour 500 ml of distilled water into a pot. Then add 250 grams of zinc chloride to the water. Bring this mixture to the boil, stirring frequently to ensure there are no lumps. The FDA warns that zinc chloride is dangerous because it burns holes in the flesh. They use fear tactics to frighten people and doctors away from this inexpensive, safe answer to cancer. Yet this 100% zinc chloride is not damaging healthy tissue. It will, however, sting if it comes in contact with an open cut, and it stings when it is pulling cancerous tissue out of the body. Next, add the 4 dry herbs to the simmering mixture, stirring continuously until all the lumps disappear. This quantity would be enough to last you and your family and your friends more than a lifetime, so the recipe needs to be cut down to suit your needs. Once you have a smooth consistency, add 25 ml of DMSO, still stirring. DMSO acts as a carrier and helps take the formula deep into the tissues. Next, add 25 ml of glycerine and stir it in. This keeps the formula moist. Depending upon humidity, you may have to add a bit more glycerine. Allow the mixture to simmer for about 15 minutes. When the mixture cools and cures, it isn't runny anymore, and it has a paste-like consistency. It is best used after it has been sitting for 2 days at room temperature. Then put the black salve in separate jars and store in your refrigerator. It will keep indefinitely, although it will dry out slightly. If this happens, simply add a little bit of water to rehydrate.
Dermatologists perceive black salve as a menace, but we cancer victims see it differently. We think it's so valuable that it should be in every medicine cabinet in every home.
But beware, there are companies all over the world selling so-called cancer cures in a salve under different names. Some of these are actually dangerous.
To protect people, we keep up-to-date details regarding suppliers on our website.
We recommend only one Australian supplier of black salve, and this is the only black salve we would use on ourselves or use on our animal friends.
We don't sell black salve, and we don't have financial arrangements with anyone who does. If we did, we could go to prison. Governments are draconian when it comes to black salve. But they can't stop you from making it for yourself. And they can't stop you, at least not yet, from buying it from someone who is selling it for animal use. If you choose this route, just say, it's for my best friend who happens to be a Rottweiler.